Hello, Mr. Matt Alerted, back for another video, and Alexa, set time for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
Glory. Now let's start. Start where we left off. Yeah, that's it. The Germans took the Portuguese colonies from their original owners, ripping our pride and soul of half of our union. It was nothing short of an act of cruelty. Worst of all, the retornados were forced to flee their homeland to escape the tyranny that would affect them. The heart of the wretched stories of those who truly lost everything have been made a strong case to our government. Therefore, it is about time that their revenge, if the Portuguese shall not have it, then the Germans sure won't either. Well, they seemingly took everything, there is something very important they failed to take. We still have the maps of the assets around Angola, and it's unlikely the Germans have modified anything. It would be a shame if those maps were given to the Americans so they could be able to disable the infrastructure that they would find necessary. Finland leave our socialist parties. And the fascists have couped the Croatian government. How about Eustacia and Yuri Franchik? I need to check the audio because it sounds really loud. Yeah, it was. Combat sport engineering. Is this from me? Do you hear the... I thought I heard... Yeah, I think I heard a slight crackling sound. More than you. The Green Berets in Bissau. Africa is a vast place. There are many different environments, but no one will tell you is that these environments are less different than one would think. There is a lot of crossover between them. For example, many skills we learned in one place that make sure use of in another is logically the Americas would appreciate learning. There's a time in South Africa. Will open the Portuguese Guineas to the United States military, and in particular to invite special forces could train in the area. They could use the practice to fight better in hostile environments of Africa, while Guinea would provide a valuable introduction to it. That's fine. This is new. The Guineanese Black Friday. The Afro-Guineanese agitators has attacked the town of Wilmar. Wilmar, somewhere in Guyana. Targeting the Indo-Guyanese residents. So, African Guyanese versus Indian Guyanese. Businesses were looted, civilians were killed in what now known as the Wismar Massacre. Through the official death toll from Georgetown, officials stand at only 5. Witnesses from Wilmar suggest the count is much higher. Eyewitnesses alleged that police officers had joined the beating of the Indo-Guyanese civilians. Other reported the rape and molestation occurred throughout the night. International observers view the massacre as a loss, continuous of disturbances, ongoing ethnic conflict from the 1950s between the Indo-Guyanese and Afro-Guyanese. Peninsula returned against the pioneers Chedi Jagan, with some critics accusing him of failing to stop the conflict altogether. Others view the unrest as an opportunity for Jagan out of power. A horrifying massacre. That's Chedi Jagan. So that's just saying the Americans have taken Sao Tao, or supposedly have. The Cancioneros de Niassa. The Portuguese mission in Angola, their ordained duty was to civilize the people. Surely, since the Portuguese have chased away by the Nazis, the job was left only half finished. Yet, still, the history of Portuguese colonialism is the region is something that can be used. This is recording. Used to our advantage. One of the first things settlers did was the teaching inhabitants into Portuguese in order to better communicate with the natives. The Portuguese language is not means universal, but it is significant enough that the Africans in former colonies know the language to make an alternative operation practical. We will deploy forces is able to use the power of song and voice to strike fear to Africans fighting under German command, turning their traditions and customs against them, and these operations will harm their morals, allowing the Africans a better chance. Central Europe is what recolonized, or reorganized, whatever. The old British government succeeds. Airborne nurses, some Portuguese are about brave, some of or they are thrill seekers either way. They are willing to be put to good use in service of America. It makes not always at times, nor do they get some places easily to land. What makes it worse is that they can't always get what they need by air either, as they have nowhere to land. Portuguese airborne nurses have been created to solve this problem. They will parachute out of helicopters and other aircraft, choose into hostile conditions in order to save lives through the thick and thin, no matter the risk. It is here that the bravest will shine, and those who are in for a thrill will get exactly what they want. They will be like angels from heaven, come to bring salvation for those who need. Can we now actually send volunteers? That's still no. The Luanda air factory has been destroyed. Arms factory has been destroyed. Just destroyed a bunch of people. South Africa. Back in our hands, many of our returners were natural outdoorsmen and have never truly forgotten their old time. We shall form special defense elements utilizing their experience, which will give our allies a natural boost. Battlefield in Mozambique and Angola. we gain some fortress in the Pyrenees. And finally, Os Veritos. Iberia has sent quite a few Portuguese down to South Africa. No matter how many send, it just doesn't seem enough. Clearly, the mistake was prioritizing quality over quantity so highly, as we have barely anyone any advantage in. We have sent quickly nullified by the total lack of people in capitalizing on it. As it were, we will sacrifice a bit of fighting quality for numbers. By the end, we will reform the Victoria's Volunteer Division, already deployed to Spain to assist Franco many years ago. Now, many brave Portuguese men will be able to taste the honor of battle made all sweeter by revenge. They will not rest until Angola and Mozambique are avenged. So once that's done, we will now be able to send another conversation between Salazar and Franco. Stuff happening in Russia. To debug. First attack of the day. Dealt all Earth. How are you still not? Tag it. No. Oh, you're about to. Tag it. I bet. With that done, all these minor, smaller focus trees are done with. Can get with one of the bigger ones. The Council Law. In the interest of furthering sound governance and ensuring the stability of the government of the nation, we will add a fundamental law of Iberia to reflect the changes that have currently been implemented. This will of course be a suitable opportunity to add in other laws to the collection, but most important one will of course be the newest law about the council, its members and its responsibility. Fortunately, this will not be difficult as it is measured, given you will not have to alter any extinguishing of fundamental laws to bring about an advantage of having this system instead of some witless liberal constitution. There's a PSYOP having South Africa, Black One to be exact. By just torching for the show and Boers. An economic crisis. A bunch of socialists and stuff coming. Send the police to beat them up. Now we can actually send volunteers. 4. Go ahead, boys. Chianto has resigned in solidarity to protest. I think that guy is Salazar's successor. He will return to politics. Letters from some random soldier. And South Africa is dead. No, the Boer Republic is dead. Under Carlos Asinius Cabanas, you will bring victory. General Nauru dies, and Novosibirsk reunites Central Siberia under the Central Siberian Federation. Martial Muscovy is permanent. Incident at the Guatemalan border. That's just about us coming in to South Africa. This is a new thing. Incident at the Mexican-Guatemalan border. One of the many militarized borders in America again sees renewed deployment of troops and material after an incident at the border. Further frustration tensions between the two different neighbors. Unidentified militias crossing the Uscanan River were discovered by the Mexican patrol. Retreating into Guatemala, the militias pursued, and some response to Mexican troops who were themselves fled from the Guatemalan response. The Guatemalan government has already condemned the Mexican incursion as almost an act of war, while the Mexican accuses Guatemala of facilitating dissidents crossing using slow Guatemalan response as evidence. Many questions remain over exactly what occurred. However, before it's clear that both agreed for potential war. Thin line between mistrust and conflict has been crossed. And General Stroessner has led a Paraguayan crew by a Stroessner branch or Stronto branch, the Colorado Party of the Republican National Association, National Republican Association. They're fighting Paraguayan establishment failures against the FULNA rebels. The Bush War was culminating in a military coup led by Senior General Alfredo Stroessner. While Stroessner received support from across the factory ruling party, the takeover was nevertheless bloody, with dozens of dead following the assault of the headquarters of the National Police. Now seeing the rule of the populace, Stroessner claimed the Paraguayans would eliminate the threat of the atheistic Bolshevism and home the abroad by joining the global struggle alongside the Pact and the Condor Legion. Time will tell if the ambitions for peace and progress in the reconstructed Paraguay can be realized as the Bush War rages on. The only leader between FULA and Sunshine. We'll find the warlords and the Free French Liberation Forces under de Gaulle are fighting the Republic of Hunty Volta. Also, they gained a puppet in Dahomey. Nixon resigns, and Jose Antonio Ramona Catero of the National Patriotic Coalition has taken over. There's a new one, basically. Some problems were having in Panama, and he managed to stay in power. That is basically it. And the Thai president is dead. Council law. The equitable oligarchy. Contrary to Republican delusions, the absence of democratic systems does not mean the absence of meritocracy or a denial of its usefulness, though Cordillos will, of course, prefer that those close allies serve the council. They are not so foolish as to seek out toadies and praise singers. They merely spout affirmations of the Cordillos' wishes and whims. The Cordillos set up this council to help the government function. For this, they need the device, not sycophancy. The council will have a member only the best people of the Cordillo can find within the government, and their network will ensure that the advice is useful as possible. This is functionally like saying a constitution, the law of the council. Rigona is still in Ukraine. New caretaker president. New things happen lots. So takes that. The UFF is defeating the Japanese invasion, and the South Asian Economic Conference has begun. The third Filipino proposal has been made under the Cleavers of the coalition. Another military coup in Brazil. A military coup fought in Chile and Antarctica. Get some edge detection. We want to detect if people are edging. This talks just about to go talking about the new Great Council. Okay, watch them closely. It is evident that the recent chaotic proceedings of the Reichssenate and Imperial Diet, or indeed the Council itself, that bodies that meet regularly for political purpose have to rules and enforce those rules if they wish to function properly, but we do not need that sort of rah-rah. particularly energy that the Americans or the Argentines have their legislators, nor indeed do we need to allow pedantry or ritualization as the secret conflictuosity. What is significant as is to the rules regarding 1. When meetings happen, 2. How they happen, and 3. How the Council should present its advice to Cordilla and the government. Suppose this is short, but is still fine. Get infantry weapons improvement. The assembly dissolves because President Sedas doesn't like it. By the way, if Pierre Sedas of the French Popular Party takes power, it usually does mean that France will go into civil war, which I did plan so that we in Italy can reform the triumvirate. I didn't expect them to go. I don't know if them going democratic ruins that. If it does, then damn. Probably should have made sure that the hardliners succeeded. In that case. Kennedy is shot. Sir Locks takes West Siberia. Or the Urals. Andrew Fontaine of the British People's Party takes over. Sorry, Sam, another time. Strengthen the illusion. The opposition faction will go and on about how the council is just a show, merely reflecting the wishes of the Kurill back at them. Well, we are not going to deny that. Are the Kurills not responsible for the welfare of the Iberian people? Exactly. While the Iberian prosper by doing these exactly. Why will Iberians prosper by doing these subversive properly and setting up some kind of full democracy? Meanwhile, the regular citizen of Iberia is simply indifferent. This is no issue to us so long as the difference doesn't crystallizing into some direction of fault. Our propaganda on this subject should merely be publicized the council as being a part of the government working to serve the interest of the nation. Alexa, stop. They're all Nov. They're all. So things are going, I personally think, decently well. South Africa is winning. Good. We've finished all the focuses with that, and we're getting that council stuff done down. Going on to war power. Some other foreign policy stuff happened, not to be cared about. And Russia is refining itself, as it does. Everything's fine. And with that, I'll call this video due. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time. Hope to see you in this matter of video. Edit. Saying goodbye. Good day, goodbye, goodbye. Also, how did Tamna change Xinjiang's border defense administration to being communist? I still have no idea how they did that. Alright, bye.